Good morning in the USA and good morning here in Sicily. My name is JB and I would like to welcome you into the Militant Negro YouTube channel. And I am a militant Negro. And this morning I want to congratulate Donald J. Trump on becoming the 45th President of the United States of America in what is now known as the 58th election in our history for that office. Yes, that is correct. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. 290 electoral college votes to 218. I believe that is the tally, the final total. And it's kind of historic. It's earth-shattering, actually. It reminds me of the election that happened 8 years ago in 2008 when an upstart nobody by the name of Barack Obama beat John McCain. Obama won that election when nobody thought he would. And it surprised and shocked a lot of people. Well, the same thing happened tonight. Donald Trump actually trounced Hillary Clinton, 290 electoral votes to 218. That's not a small win. That's a big margin of victory in my eyesight. Nobody, and I mean nobody, called this election as it happened. And America right now is all upset. They're crying like Michael Jordan. Don't get upset, people. He won fair and square. People voted for him because for some reason they believed in him. And they did not believe in Hillary Clinton. And I think it's Hillary Clinton's own fault that she lost this election. People don't like her. She's not likable. And when you can say that she's less likable than Donald Trump, that says a lot. My hat's off to Donald and his family. Winning any presidential election is hard work. You're put under a microscope. Every section of your life is looked at 300 different ways from Sunday. The man survived. He's not the best candidate, but I tell you something. His speech tonight, his acceptance speech, was very good. Now, yes, him and Hillary are both clowns. I understand that nobody likes either one of them, and many people voted for Trump as a vote against Hillary. I get that. But again, they're both clowns. But we'll see what happens. When the dust clears a week from now, we'll see what happens. Hillary, she's upset, I know. She called to concede and congratulate Mr. Trump, which surprised me because I didn't give her that much credit. But she did it. She called. She put on her Michael Jordan cry face and she called him and said, hey, congratulations. There's one thing that will not change. Well, there are many things that won't change. One of them is the relationship between the United States and Israel. That will continue. And we know this. So, there's really no big deal that Trump won the presidency tonight because what's going to change? We voted Barack Obama in and thought things would change. And really nothing changed. Barack didn't change anything. Barack is a mixed race person of color and he didn't change anything for us. And here's a funny side note. The Canadian immigration website crashed tonight, a little bit before Donald Trump was announced as the winner. People, so many Americans were going to the Canadian immigration website to check it out that it literally crashed. People were upset and in arms about the fact that Trump was going to win. So they were looking for a way out. It takes a lot of traffic and a lot of hits and a lot of logins to crash a site that's been up and running for decades. I thought that was pretty funny, really. What you're looking at now is some maps that throughout the night had projected what the Electoral College vote was. And I thought I would leave those up and not take them down so you could get somewhat of an idea that Trump was ahead most of the night. He was leading Hillary in the Electoral College vote most of the night. This was not a fluke win. This was real. Which brings me back to the fact that nothing's going to change. Negroes are still going to be on the bottom of the totem pole. They're still going to be getting slaughtered and executed by cops. We're still nothing more than slaves in 2016. None of that has changed, people. None of it is going to change. That's just the way the world works. We put a man in the office of president and they don't do anything because they can't. Their hands are tied like our hands are tied. They're like slaves, these presidential elected officials. They can't do anything. They do what they're told, just like slaves did. That's the way the ball bounces because we're in America. And America is run by a few people. I want to just put your minds at ease here. Allow me to calm your fears a bit. Trump is bad. No doubt about that. He's bad. He's a lot less bad than Hillary. And here's why. Hillary was an evil, nasty, racist human being as Secretary of State, okay? Hillary was responsible for the USA involvement in all kinds of wars abroad. Yemen, Syria, Iraq, Iran, the Congo, Gambia, South Africa, Afghanistan, Beirut, Lebanon. She is directly responsible for ISIS and ISIL being armed with American weapons. She is the one who pushed through, with her husband's approval, his crime bill in 1994, which is it's responsible for mass incarceration of people of color. She is a leader in building the prison industrial complex. She's responsible for the school-to-prison pipeline. Hillary has done so many evil, nasty things in her political career. Now Donald Trump is racist, and he talks a lot and speaks garbage that comes out of his mouth like he's a garbage dump, okay? But he's not a merchant of death yet. He's not the one who's caused millions and millions of lives to be lost across this world by genocide. He's not a merchant of war. He's not a warmonger. So I'm going to suggest that everybody relax. Take a deep breath. Allow the dust to settle and see what happens in the USA tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. I mean, when Barack Obama was elected president, everybody thought the world was going to end. People thought that the sun wasn't going to rise the next day. They thought their lives were going to change for the worst. I've had people on social media talk to me about their concerns that Donald Trump was going to do things that he really doesn't have the power to do. Donald Trump can't repeal any laws. Donald Trump can't change the way things work in government. He does not have the power to do this. He has no more power to do those things than Barack Obama did, or W. Bush, or Bill Clinton, or H.W. Bush. These people don't have the power when they're president to do the things we think they should be able to do. They're figureheads. They're no more powerful in America than the Queen of England is in the UK. They're figureheads, people. They're up there as a face. They're a face to a group of people who don't want a face. That's pretty much what the presidency is. We elect a person and put him in the office, and the people behind him, the power behind the pseudo power of the presidency, those are the people who control things. These men, and maybe a couple of women, decide what happens in America, how things go, and they control it all. They've been the power for decades, if not centuries. It's an old boys club of Caucasian men, and maybe a girl or two. I'm not sure if women are allowed, but I do know Caucasian men run this world. They run the United States. The president is put into office to do their bidding. And trust me when I say no president wins an election in the United States of America who is not a person who can be controlled and manipulated by the powers that be. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe in that crap. But I do know not one single president in my lifetime has won the office of president and made any changes that are significant. Barack Obama told us in 2008 he was going to change all this. And he could do nothing. Hell, he can't even stop the Ku Klux Klan from killing people of color. His own people. He has no idea how to stop them. He couldn't stop it. He had the Department of Justice and the FBI and a slew of legal representation on his side, and he couldn't do anything for that. He couldn't stop it. He couldn't put a thumb in the dike at all. People of color are still being hunted and killed daily, and nobody do anything about it. So understand me when I say tomorrow the sun will shine. Okay, it's going to rise in America. We're still going to be slaves. We're still going to be slaves to all the things that we were slaves to last week before Donald Trump won. That's not going to change. Things will stay the same. We'll still need health care. We'll still need to pay our bills. We will still have veterans that are homeless. We'll still have families who can't afford food. There will still be all types of issues concerning climate change and the environment. Standing Rock Sioux will still be protesting the North Dakota pipeline bullshit that's going on right now. That's still happening. The sun's going to rise, and tomorrow will come around just like it does every day. Don't be fearful. I mean, if you think back to it, there were people screaming and hollering and beating themselves all across the face and back when Obama was elected. And look what happened when he got into office. Not much. A few laws were written, a few things happened, a few changes were made, but there was really no significant change in what happened. We still are our own best weapon to change this world. Unite and change things. People wonder how come Donald Trump got all these votes. Because he promised the same thing Barack Obama promised in 2008. Change. Difference. Hillary Clinton didn't offer anybody any change. Hillary never talked about changing anything. She was on the defensive most of the time because of her fuck-ups. Donald Trump wasn't defending anything. You called him a rapist or a groper in chief. He didn't really defend that. He didn't really talk about it. The man is evil and he's a sexual predator, but you guys voted him in. So that's something you got to deal with. And it ain't the first time, because Bill Clinton was a rapist. And I'm pretty sure a lot of those colonial presidents who were raping their slaves, rapists as well. It's what Americans accept. What I'm trying to tell you guys is calm down. I know it's a cliche, but this is a time to heal this nation if that's possible. I'm not sure it can be done. But I listened to Donald Trump's speech tonight, and I was surprised. He had a conciliatory attitude. He wasn't speaking about separation and division. He was talking unity. He was speaking about fixing this nation's infrastructure. He was talking about helping veterans who need help. He was talking about putting Americans to work, rebuilding everything in America that's broken. Now, Barack Obama talked about the same things, but he didn't get the help needed from Congress. Now, Donald Trump is a Republican. There's a Republican Senate and a Congress, if I'm not mistaken, after this election. Maybe they'll all work together to get some things accomplished. I know it's not right that you have to be a member of a certain party to get work done, or a certain race. I understand that's the wrong way to do it, but if that gets the end results America needs, I'm all for it. Yes, I know, I don't live in America anymore. I left not because of an election, I left because law enforcement is killing people who look like me. That's not going to change until the justice system changes, and that's not going to change until everybody in D.C. is different. We allow people to die because they're black and Negro and African American and Asian and Hispanic and everything but white. We allow those people of color to be massacred and executed because we don't care. Donald Trump stepped up to the microphone tonight and offered olive branches all across the United States. Now, I don't know if he's going to make good on that because, again, Barack Obama did the same thing, and he didn't do anything much. I'm hoping Donald Trump is not only going to be historic in the fact that he even won, but I'm hoping he's going to be historic in the fact that he will get things done. He will make changes. I don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like the rhetoric he used in his campaign. But maybe that was just to get the votes he needed to be elected. We will have to see. Again, we have to wait and see what happens. All this wringing of our hands and screaming and hollering and crying, all this rhetoric that we're doing that I'm seeing happening on social media, people that I follow who follow me on Twitter, upset that Donald Trump won. Well, I guess the flip side of that is they feel the same things Caucasians felt in 2008 when Barack Obama won. Those same groups of people who are American citizens were upset that a Negro mixed race person won the presidency for the first time in history. They didn't know how to react to that. They were upset. I'm just saying, everybody calm down. Let the man have his opportunity, just like Barack Obama had his opportunity. Obviously, the electoral process in America gives people the right to choose who they want to vote for as president. And the electorate picked Donald Trump in what I believe is a record number. 290 to 218 in electoral college votes is not just squeaking by. That is a mandate in my eyesight. Again, let's relax, tone it down, give the man a chance. Again, his speech tonight to me was great. He's not the orator that Barack Obama is. He's not the public speaker that Barack Obama is, but he got his point across. I heard it loud and clear. He extended his hand to Democrats and Republicans who didn't support him. And that's another thing. There were quite a few of his own party members who did not vote for him, did not support him, because of all the rhetoric he was spewing to get his base to the polls. And it worked. His voting base turned out and voted for him and astounded the pundits, the experts, all those political strategists who sit at the desk on election night and talk. They couldn't figure out what happened. And I'm not being funny here when I say all this reminded me of 8 years ago when Barack Obama stunned the political world. They couldn't understand how he won. They sat around those desks with their heads in their hands and just sighed. How did this happen? I remember the same thing happened in Chicago in 1984-85 when Harold Washington won the election for mayor. They sat around those political desk commentators and could not understand what was going on. There was one reporter named Walter, I can't think his name, Walter Jacobson maybe. He said out loud what a lot of people were thinking. How can this happen in Chicago? That's what he said. How did this happen? How did Harold Washington win? That's the same thing they said about Barack Obama in 2008. And they repeated that tonight consistently. How did Donald Trump do this? Nobody saw this coming. How did this happen? Why were we so wrong? Well, here's a simple answer. You were wrong because you didn't give Donald Trump the credit he deserved for being able to reach the people that he knew would come out and vote for him. Males, men, Caucasians. Yes, that's correct. Caucasian males voted for this man in record numbers because he touched them with his message, whether it was racist or divisional, whatever. His divisive message is what got those Caucasian males to the polls. He got them out there, off their butts, out of their recliners, away from the television, and they got to the polls, and they voted for Donald Trump. And there were some people who were speculating that third-party voters ruined it for Hillary Clinton. No, Hillary Clinton ruined it for Hillary Clinton. And the third-party vote was called a protest vote tonight by every single expert pundit. That pissed me off. It's not a protest vote. It's democracy at work. It's a person who decides to vote for somebody other than a Democrat or Republican exercising their rights. A protest vote would be not to vote at all, or to write in Mickey Mouse. But when you vote for Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka, or even Gary Johnson, you are saying, I want these people to be my representative in the White House. That's not a protest vote. That's a vote saying, these are the people I trust. A protest vote is voting for Hillary Clinton because you don't like Donald Trump, or voting for Donald Trump because you can't stand Hillary Clinton. Those are protest votes. When people voted tonight for Jill Stein, Ajamu Baraka, and even Gary Johnson, they were voting because they did not like the concept of those third-party candidates being shut out. And I understand that. Again, congratulations to Trump and Pence. They made history tonight. Because Donald Trump, I think, might be the first president who never held any elected office. I'm just saying that off the top of my head. I don't know if that's true or not. But I know Donald Trump has never been elected to any political office. He's now going to be president of the United States of America. That is historic. His wife might not be fit to be first lady, but hey, I'll let him deal with that. My hat is off to Donald Trump and his campaign. They worked their asses off. They made history, much like Barack Obama. So if you were all for Barack Obama's election in 2008, you got to give this man his props tonight. You might not like him. You might not like his rhetoric. You might not like the tone he used in the election. I'm going to tell you this. Neither did I. But you have no choice but to give him a chance. Good night, everybody. Be safe. Stay well. Namaste.